First tonight, Olympic downhill skier Bode Miller was arrested in Idaho this month for allegedly having over 4 grams of psychedelic mushrooms on him. Miller attended high school at Carabasset Valley Academy in Maine before going on to become a 6-time Olympic medalist. According to the affidavit, Miller knew that the mushrooms were illegal in Idaho. Court records show that Miller posted bond and pleaded not guilty to the charges. His pretrial hearing is scheduled for July 26th. The state fire marshal's office is investigating a fire that ripped through part of a commercial storage building in Bar Harbor and forced the closure of a section of Route 102 this morning. Fire Chief Matt Bartlett says crews were called to the building on West Eden Street around 10:30, where they encountered heavy smoke. The building's owner says the facility is used to store low-speed electric vehicles during the winter, including the one that was inside when the fire broke out. Crews from about 8 different departments responded. Chief Bartlett says the fire was brought under control around noon today. No injuries were reported.
When we got here, we had heavy smoke and fire showing out of the front of the building and on the B side as well. So we had fire showing on 2 separate sides. We did make entry into the building and tried to knock down as much fire as we could.
We're just thankful that nobody was injured. We appreciate all of the help that the community came, all the fire departments and first responders, and we're just fortunate.
Investigators say the extent of the damage is yet to be determined. Safety officials say a fire at Eagle Point Energy Center in Orrington started in the trash dumping room of the facility. Firefighters were called to the center a week ago today. The fire burned for more than 36 hours. It's still unclear what ignited the fire. This was the second fire at the facility in less than 2 years. Police in Lisbon say that power has been restored and Littlefield Road is back open after a crash this morning. They shared these photos in a post to social media today, saying that the road was closed down entirely this morning between King Road and Route 196. It was later opened up to 1 lane this afternoon, and the road was fully back open by 6 p.m. Central Maine Power customers voiced their concerns about the company's proposed rate hikes at the Lewiston Public Library tonight. This is the second public hearing on CMP's proposed rate hikes after making the request back in April. The Maine Public Utilities Commission says if approved, rates would increase $18 a month. CMP says the increase is necessary to fund Maine's clean energy transition and to bolster protection against storms. Supporters said the increased rates would be a good investment in Maine's workforce, while some residents spoke to the rising costs of living they're already experiencing.
I'm here tonight instead of making dinner for my family because it's important to me that rural Mainers like us aren't being tricked into thinking that CMP is doing us a favor when they're really taking more than they need.
I don't know. I'm happy with the service they give. I'd love to see, more money for them to hire more linemen, to get some of these modern upgrades done, and give them their money. Their costs go up. We have more costs. They're paying $8 at a pump too.
MPUC says it will consider comments from the public meeting to make a decision. No decisions have been made yet. Tonight, city leaders in South Portland voted to move forward with plans to redevelop the former Mahoney Middle School building. City councilors had previously rejected a $194 million plan to make the building into a hub for South Portland city services. They asked the Mahoney City Center Committee to explore other options. Tonight, the committee voted unanimously on a motion to solicit proposals from developer partners for the project. They say that during the process, they will ensure that the developers align with the goals of the city and the community.
You would possibly have some private uses, but they would be uses that are consistent with the public interest.
There's great control and ultimately, checks with the planning board and city council, I'm assuming, through this process.
The issue will be discussed again at the next meeting on July 28th. Today, the Conservative Political Action Committee, Lead Maine, delivered more than 3,000 signatures across 2 petitions to the Maine Department of Health and Human Services. News Center Maine's Alex Haskell explains what the petitions would do and why supporters say they could strengthen oversight of MaineCare.
Lead Maine is formally petitioning DHHS to adopt 2 new rules group leaders say would add more oversight and accountability to MaineCare spending.
MaineCare is the single largest thing that Maine taxpayers pay for.
Amid allegations of fraud, Republican state rep and lead Maine executive director Laurel Libby says MaineCare lacks meaningful oversight, arguing almost no one is protecting taxpayer dollars.
The legislature has both the authority and the duty to demand real oversight of this program, and it has not done it.
All right, so we're going to go down Apple Street.
It's why on Tuesday, Libby and other supporters delivered more than 3,000 signatures across 2 petitions to DHHS. One petition requires auditors to conduct on-site inspections of MaineCare providers, closing what Libby calls a loophole currently allowing a phone call or paperwork review to count as an on-site visit. The other petition would require the state to place payments to providers into escrow when there is a credible suspicion of improper MaineCare billing. If no wrongdoing is found, the money would be released with interest.
This event speaks to something that is wildly overdue.
The effort is drawing support from Maine's Republican nominee for governor, Bobby Charles.
We should be making sure that that money gets either retrieved and the program stopped, or that it's properly inspected and we know what we're doing.
With the signatures turned in, attention now turns to DHHS.
The department has to respond.
With the petitions having at least 150 signatures, DHHS now has 60 days to initiate the rulemaking process for each petition. It does not guarantee the rules will be adopted.
If the legislature will not demand accountability, the people of Maine will.
When asked whether she or Republican lawmakers have previously introduced these specific rules in legislation, Libby did not directly answer the question, but she said over the course of her 6 years as a lawmaker, efforts to increase MaineCare accountability have been rejected. In Augusta, Alex Haskell, News Center Maine.
News Center Maine has reached out to the governor's office, DHHS, and the office of the Maine Speaker of the House for comment, but have not yet heard back.